back to another interview presented by Alabama Wrestling Forums. I'm Jaxon Bast here with multiple-time state placer, national champ, and finally a state champ, Sam Sutton. Sam, thank you so much for joining me today.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Of course, and the first question I ask all of my people I have on, what got you into wrestling?
Oh, that's a good question. So what got me into wrestling is when I was in seventh grade, I went out for the football team, and I was about 75 pounds, a tiny little kid. And one of the football coaches hated me, but he decided he would get me out for wrestling. His name's Coach Perry. A lot of guys know him, D'Angelo Perry, big name in Alabama. He got me out, and I fell in love with the sport. I found something that I thought I might be good at. I was always a small kid, so it was hard playing other sports, but in wrestling, that didn't matter. So I felt like I determined what happened. I determined my route in the sport and how good I was. Me winning was never up to like my teammate or something. So it felt really, it felt free, and yeah, Coach Perry got me in there and really inspired me to be great.
So what kind of made you really click into knowing that this was going to be your sport?
That's yeah. I think that's a good question. I think that like the fact that I was alone and that I used to be big in soccer, and I was on like the Olympic development team. I was really big into it. I was on the freshman team my eighth grade year. Uh, in soccer, my dad, he played soccer in college, and he would always get on me and tell me to stop yelling at my teammates. And the issue that I had was, whenever my teammates would screw up, I'd get so mad because I felt like, it was almost like I felt like I was being slighted. Like, you just screwed me up when you messed up a pass or something. And it was always subjective too. Like, the coaches could choose, oh, I want this guy to start. And I never felt like I clicked with a coach, and I would always feel like, the coach had something against me. So when I got into wrestling, I didn't. I remember my seventh grade year. I didn't win the starting spot, but I knew to myself, like, I was like, it's not the coach's fault. Like, I just lost a wrestle off, and that was. I think that was kind of the first time I was. And I remember that wrestle off. I remember losing in seventh grade. So that was the first time I really realized, like, this is up to me. I get to determine how good I am. No one else does.
Mm. Sam Sutton, your freshman year wasn't really a household name. It wasn't until
No.
probably your sophomore year where you really kicked it up and you made it to the state finals.
Yeah.
What was kind of the change from your freshman, into your freshman year into your sophomore season?
Yeah. So I started. I think I started training off season after, like, really training after eighth grade. So I think, for one, like, you really need like an entire year, like a fiscal year, to really like get a grip of the sport and understand what's going on. Everyone who's good at wrestling knows that if you're not wrestling year round, like, you're not going to be good. It's just, it's black and white. And so that's the first thing. I probably hit a year round of wrestling, and I practiced every freaking day. Like, I wasn't slacking at all. I just got in the room. And then I think another thing was when I was a freshman, I started the season at like 113, and then to get a starting spot, I wrestled off at the 132-pound spot. So I made a crazy jump just to be in the starting lineup, and ended up just getting my tail whooped at the state tournament. I got teched by Bryce Wanigate, and then I got teched. I forgot who else teched me, but it was a McAdory kid. Like, I got teched twice. So I was undersized, and I wasn't that good at wrestling, but yeah, I think I got in the room, and I got in the weight room. All that stuff just helps develop you as a wrestler.
And I know you've trained with multiple coaches, along with the legendary Eddie Crocker, Freaky McGowan, and then some of your club coaches, like everybody who's over at Ironclad.
Yeah.
I know you spent some time with Seth Garvin. What were you kind of, what's kind of the benefit of going to all these different coaches and kind of getting these different ideas?
That's, yeah. I think like really one thing that's huge is, like, I feel like I've developed a really good sense of, like, who knows what they're talking about. I've been around guys who don't know what they're talking about, and I've been around guys that have. So when I go to camps and stuff, or when I show someone or see someone showing something, I feel like I can pick it up better. But really, like everybody has such a different style. Like Crocker's he's been around for a while. A lot of his stuff is old school. Frankie's the exact opposite. Jake is super, innovative. Marcus Elkins, crazy funk guy. Seth Garvin's crazy technical, and Seth's got a little like grunt to him. I've been in the Team Alabama room with like Shad, and same thing. He's a little bit closer to Seth, but I think it all kind of like pours in and just benefits me in ways that probably I can't see most of the time. But yeah, it's really really awesome to have all those guys pouring into me. I say all the time that I wish I could, I wish I could give all the credit to myself, but I can't. I have so many great adults surrounding me and helping me.
And obviously, there's a style when you think of Sam Sutton, it's a little funky, and you got to watch out for the Peterson.
Right.
And where would you say you kind of developed your style?
Oh, so yeah, that's a good question too. I think that I remember my first match ever. I hit a Peterson and I held it for like 2 minutes straight. Like I hit it. This is my first match ever. It was like a 7th grade tournament at Center Point, and I remember hitting Peterson. So that's just like psychological conditioning. It worked the first time I did it, and it was the first move that worked. And now I've hit it on every freaking person in existence, But that's probably why I have the Peterson. But the rest of my style, I think probably this is the same for everyone. Like what muscles excel in my body and my genetics. Like I have really good hips and I have a good back muscles. I don't really have a good upper body, so a lot of my stuff is funky because I don't really have quick feet either. So like I'm not gonna be quick to sprawl, but I am gonna be quick to get to that pass because I can pull it over or something similar to that. The Peterson is all hips. So when I had the strong hip muscles, I had them in 7th grade, and I have them now, but I didn't have any arm muscles. So what did I go to? I think I have good, grip strength, but maybe, I'm not the lankiest guy. So there's all this stuff that adds up and creates kind of like an avatar, for everyone, like their own video game character. What are your strengths? What did you develop throughout your career? And now I sit here with the skills that I have, and I think the best thing I can do now is to keep refining those skills, be an expert at one thing, but also get better at stuff that I'm terrible at. Like sprawling. I mean, I'm sure everyone in the state knows that I can't sprawl for crap. So definitely, I'm been working on that.
Oh, that's good to hear. And you'd made the podium your sophomore, your junior year, and you didn't really push all the way through to that state title. And then you go and wrestle at it was postseason nationals last March, right? That's where you won your national title.
Mm-hmm.
And what was it kind of like? I mean, I can understand there had to have been a little bit of self-doubt, seeing as you didn't necessarily hit your goals in the state, so you're going to a much higher level and you're competing for a national title. What kind of made you get the demons out of there?
Right. Yeah, that's a good question. Well, first of all, I'm pretty confident in myself. I don't really struggle as much with like doubting myself before a match. That's never really been an issue for me. I think that I lost to Deshaun Poe my junior year. I think that Deshaun's a great wrestler. So and he out wrestled me the day I lost in the semifinals. So I was kind of like kudos to him. So that was just a hard loss that I took, and I think I got over it in like a week. And but really what happened was I went to Virginia Beach a week before that postseason nationals, and I lost like 2 crazy close matches to really good kids. And we got in the room that week, and we worked really hard. But going into that Iowa tournament, I was done. Like I was so burnt out, and I was just relaxing. I was just relaxing and having fun, and that's what really turned it on for me. Is I was just having fun. I was out there, doing my thing. I didn't care as much about a win or a loss. I just wanted to get better because, that's what happens when you lose. You realize it's not that big of a deal in perspective. So it was really fun. The first match I wrestled And the first match was my hardest match. I had like the 1 seed. My first match, his name's Jace Luna. He just got third at state in Iowa. He was really tough, but I had no clue who he was. So me wrestling him, I wasn't, like psyching myself out without meaning to because I knew who he was, and all that stuff adds up. When you see kids like Deshaun and Isaiah and Corey Land, and you've seen them wrestle for 4 years, it's a little bit harder to toe the line than it is a kid you've never met.
So are you somebody who doesn't necessarily like to look at brackets? And not know?
That's so. This is I don't look at anything. I think somebody told me this. I don't remember who it was, but look up who you beat after you beat him. So if I catch a kid and I think he's all right, then I'll go look at the bracket and I'll look at his profile and see if he did anything, and then I can brag about it. But no, I don't check the brackets at all. I just check the mat assignments and then I go for it.
So are you somebody who like sleeps right until, or you kind of have to look at are you like looking at the guy and kind of sizing him up, or?
Oh no, I'd say that. I don't know. I think that I just convince myself that I'm better than them, regardless of if I actually am or not. I convince myself of that, and then I'm ready to go. I convince myself that I'm the scary one, and you got to be the predator. This is a fight. You can't be scared, or even, in my opinion, you can't even respect the guy you're about to wrestle, regardless of if you really do or not.
Wow, I really like that.
Thank you.
It's, no. I mean, I think that's such a good thing to have. I know it's something that I battled when I was a competitor. Is not being able to do that. So I'm really impressed that you're able to.
Yeah. Hey, you gotta figure it out for yourself. What works and what doesn't.
So of course, you finally punched your thing. You finally won a state title. Now, what were kind of the immediate feelings you felt like everything that had just built up to that? You finally win it. You're a senior.
Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah. I told that was the worst pressure I've ever felt in my life. The thing that was coming to my mind, it's crazy because at the state tournament you have to sit there. You wrestle one match a day. So to sit there and think about the state finals. So, that's what I'm doing all day. And I was thinking about Jesus in the Garden of Gethsemane, and he's sweating blood because he's so nervous that he's about to die. And I felt like crazy pressure. But something that Roper said at UNI was that pressure is a privilege. So I get the privilege to put my pride on the line almost. I mean, there's no bigger stage. I think me and Chad's match was probably the biggest match of the tournament. That's obviously debatable, but it's two seniors who are both studs, who haven't won a state tournament, who are both like the boys in their room. He's been at Warrior for that long. I've been at Ironclad. So there's kind of a rivalry there and stuff. But I mean, it was crazy. I'm not gonna lie. It was crazy stress, crazy pressure. I was not sleeping the nights before. Yeah. I mean, you said immediately after, right? Mm-hmm. Immediately after, I think, man, I was so relieved to get it all done with. I think that I knew in my heart I was. That was what was going to happen, but yeah, it was just such a relief. I had my dumb celebration. I think people were upset about that I did that, but me and Perry, he started me in the game, so he threw me a bag of Skittles. I ate the Skittles, and then I remember just pouring them in my hand, and I looked up at our team, and I was like, I freaking did it. I did it, man. This is it. It's over. All the stress is over. So, yeah, it was a lot of stress.
That's all. So, kind of that whole thing. A lot of those Homewood wrestlers are not wrestlers who started in 7th grade. A lot of those guys have been wrestling up into youth, and you feel like you kind of proved something in that hard work now 100% pays off?
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. I think that I have a lot of friends in the Alabama wrestling world, but I got a lot of enemies too, and some people didn't think I could do it. You know, some people have said that what I've done is a fluke or whatever it may be. You know, me winning whatever might be they might think it's a fluke or not, but I think that proved like I put the work in. No one else put the work in. I sat there for 6 years, and I gave up all my time, all my energy, everything I had to win a state title, and I got it done. So I think that proves that hard work can do it. At whatever point you're in, you can go walk to the mat the next day, and you can put the work in, and you can achieve your goals. You know.
That's awesome. Now, I know this. I'm not trying to get an exclusive or anything,
Yeah.
but you have any leads on where you're thinking about continuing your education?
I really I'm not sure. I have a lot of good schools asking me to consider them, and I'm considering every single option. I'm not gonna put anyone to the side. I think I'm probably looking priorities in education. So people can look at my offers are online. You can I put them on my Twitter and my Instagram. People can look at them and see what schools might have a better education than others. Like that is my priority. So I've those are probably at the top of the list. But there's so many factors.
Mm-hmm.
Like you got recruited too, so you know. But people there's so much stuff like location, money.
Mm-hmm.
How many people go to the school, what programs they offer, what the environment is. So I'm gonna wait. I think I'll probably end up announcing uh, right around when the. I mean, I'm gonna wait
Oh,
as long as I can. So it'll probably be right around when you have to submit an initial deposit for most of the schools. I think that's like probably May.
so what I'm hearing is when this interview goes out, you gotta let all the college coaches who haven't hit you up yet is that your DMs are still open.
Hey, they're open, man. I had some coaches text me today. You can text me. I will do my best to get up to your school and check it out for sure.
Now, I've been wanting to mentioning it the whole time of interviewing you, but I noticed that you have a Rich Habits poster behind you. Do you want
Yeah.
to you want to plug it out a little bit?
Oh yeah, I'll plug it out. I'm out here. I own a clothing company, so we do all sorts of clothing. We've done literally everything that you can think of. But most importantly, probably for the audience of this group, is that we provide all the ironclad gear. So the rash guards, all the youth singlets that you saw this year, all the top bottoms that you saw, the HQ guys. So all the guys that are doing jujitsu here, they're wearing my rash guards, or Rich Harris rash guards, any of that. If I'm trying to get it going even more. So if you need some clothing, hit me up. DMs are open for that as well.
Yeah, I'll drop a link to your website in the bio of this.
Perfect. That works.
Of this YouTube. But Sam, that's all the questions I have for you today, man. I appreciate it so much for you being here.
Yeah, appreciate it. Thank you so much, dude.